All right, so I've been throwing all my discs that I have from Goliath Discs and just trying to get a feel for how they all fly so that for this next season I can really know what my choices are on each hole. So starting off with the putters, the Genesis is a throwing putter in at least the base plastic, which is what this is, the Old Testament. It flies very similar to my beat-in Envy, that's Electron Envy, so the base plastic that beats in really fast for MVP. Really nice flyer. Hyzer flip, put it high, let it glide. These things glide for a long time, surprisingly long. Really impressed with how much they glide. Tried them as putting putters, really like them. I have been putting since I started playing disc golf with an EMAC Judge. That's all I've ever putted with, and this could easily take over that. For putting, it seems a little less glidey than the Judge, but straighter. The Judge, sometimes I have to like let it ride out to the right and let it crash in. With these, it's very point and shoot. Even from distance, like 40 feet, I was hitting basket and chains and stuff, so happy with that. Approach disc, the pillar, I have 3 of them, 2 in the Oasis, 1 in the Old Testament with the team stamp. This, for some reason, in the base plastic is more overstable, at least than the purple one, which I've had this one for several months and I've used it quite a bit, so it's a little more beat in, a little glidier, a little straighter, but it even seems to be, I mean, this one's right out of the box. I got these 2 at the same time. So the blue one seems to be a little straighter and then crashes. This seems to be like laser crash all the way. So I'm interested to see still how that beats in, being the base plastic. Gyra, classic. If you don't know, they use, I want to say, like a screen print for their stamps, which on some discs it can start wiping off, as it did on this one. I don't know if you can tell very well, but most of the letters aren't there anymore. But on others, I mean, I've had this almost as long as this one and it hasn't come off at all. But they are moving towards the other kind of stamp, hot stamp or whatever that is, I don't know exactly, that you would see on most other company discs. The Gyra, fairly flippy, can get it on a high shot, flip up, come and slowly fade down. On a straight, yeah, it's a straight flying mid. The Redemption is a great complement to the Gyra. It's the more overstable. You can see the profile there. Feels similar to a Buzz, maybe a little shallower. I don't know, I haven't thrown a Buzz in a long time, but I would say it's a little more overstable than the Buzzes I had, except for a Glow Buzz that was pretty flippy. So this, or pretty overstable. This is pretty stable. Not gonna flip this over very well. Haven't really tried it on forehand. I need to try that still, but on backhand, I'm really liking it. All right, fairways. The Enoch is the disc I have been looking for since I started playing disc golf, I think. I tried a lot of different fairways and I kind of stuck with the Volt for a long time, but I didn't like the feel in my hand. It flew decently nice, straight with a fade at the end, but I just never got the feel, and they would beat in, and I fell out of love with the Volt fairly quickly. But this seems to be the disc I've been looking for. I've been told that the orange is more overstable than the blue. I'm not seeing that difference, at least with my arm speed, and I'm throwing these about 300, 320, depending on how well I throw them. There's the profile, so you can tell. These are going to be a staple in my bag for sure. I've been throwing these all over the place today, and I love them. Don't know what else to say. They're amazing. Chain breaker, I might use this once every other round. It's a crazy overstable 9-speed, but it's like a tilt. I'm putting it on like this much anhyzer in a forehand, and it's flexing and spiking into the ground to about 220-ish feet. So it has a use for sure for scrambling, but not something I'm going to use too often, but it'll definitely stay in the bag. Ambush, flippy distance driver. I was wondering if this would fly similar to my DGA sail, and it does in a way, where it is very flippy. But I would say it's a little flippier, and then it's a little more hook at the end than the sail, where the sail is kind of like a slow fade kind of thing. This is up, crash. But be interested to keep trying that one out on different angles. Slingshot. I think I'm really gonna like this. It's a 13 speed, so it's not the most comfortable for me in my hand, just because I don't throw a lot of 13 speed discs. But it flies very similar to my workhorse Emperor. This is when I got at a tournament. That it's got that consistent, straight, slight turn to get that extra glide and distance, and then the consistent fade. This could very easily be the workhorse for a long time. Lastly, the Rapture, overstable distance driver. I don't have the arm speed to be throwing this very far. It's going about as far as my fairways, honestly. But if I need to get somewhere left for sure on a backhand or right on a forehand, it'll get me there in a consistent, easy manner. I'm sure if you got a bigger arm, you're gonna be able to crush this. But for me, it's just gonna be a reliable driver over stable. Plastic feel, really liking them. Like I said, I've been throwing them before. This isn't my first time, obviously, with their plastics or their discs, but I am feeling very confident and excited for the 2024 season, and I can't wait for it to come. Winter is coming, and I don't like winter.